friends, this video on work energy and power part 20 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exams. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos from part 1 to part 19 before going ahead with part 20. We will now discuss yet another very important topic, that is collision. As the name says, what is collision? In general English, in our normal day-to-day life, we use the term collision in what context? We use it in the terms of hitting something, right? Collision means hitting something. So what is collision in physics? It is an isolated event in which two or more moving bodies exert forces on each other for a relatively short time. That means two moving bodies, when they exert force on each other for a very short time, then we say that a collision has occurred. For example, we will take very common examples from our day-to-day life. Let us say the first example which we take is carom. Right, in carom, what happens? When you hit the striker, it just goes and collides with one of the strikes, and then that starts moving. Let us take the example of a carom. In carom, when you strike the striker, it goes straight and hits the carom coin, and then it starts moving. So what happened? There was a collision between the striker and the coin, and thus the coin started moving. Right? So this is called collision. That is, these two particles, two or more moving bodies, not necessarily both bodies are moving. Any one of them is moving or both are moving. When they strike each other, they exert forces on each other for a very short period of time. Here, if you would have observe it again. This is the instant when they exert force on each other. So the time for which they exert force on each other is very small. So for a small period of time, they exerted force on each other, and this event is known as collision. Let us take another example. You would have encountered accidents on roads, right? Let us consider the collision of two cars. If you see, the two cars were moving, the two moving objects just came and they hit each other. So they exerted force on each other. So this is known as collision. So when two or more moving bodies exert forces on each other for a relatively short period of time. Now we will look at momentum and energy conservation in collision. Just before some time, we talked about energy conservation. That is, we said that in any isolated system, the total energy of the system remains constant. So, in the process of collision, what happens to the energy and momentum conservation? Let us talk of momentum conservation first. Total linear momentum in all collisions is always conserved. Whatever the kind of collision may be, the total linear momentum rather, is always conserved. That means the total linear momentum before collision, that means total linear momentum before collision is equal to the total linear momentum after collision. So the total linear momentum before collision is equal to the total linear momentum after collision. So this is a universal truth, that the total linear momentum in all types of collision is always conserved. Now what about the energy? The total kinetic energy in collision is not always conserved. Sometimes the total kinetic energy is conserved, but sometimes it is not. Right. Now, these are the two statements which we made about momentum and kinetic energy conservation. Now, let us see why is it that the total linear momentum is always conserved. Let us try to prove this. Okay. Now, let us say that we have two bodies, M1 and M2. Let us suppose M1 comes with some velocity, it hits M2, and then both of them starts moving with some velocities, some different velocities. Now let us say for M1, the total change in momentum would be F12 into delta t, right? Because force is the rate of change of momentum. We already know that force is nothing but rate of change of momentum from Newton's second law, correct? So we can write for m1, the change in momentum will be force acting on 1 due to 2 into delta t. Similarly, for m2, we can say that the change in momentum is equal to force acting on 2 due to 1 into delta t. Now, according to Newton's third law, we know that force exerted on 1 by 2 is equal and opposite to force exerted on 2 by 1. Right? So, we will apply this in the above two equations. So, what do we get? Now, what we do, we try to add equation 1 and 2. So, what do we get? Equation 1 plus equation 2. This gives delta P1 plus delta P2 is equal to F12 delta T plus F21 delta T. Now, instead of F12, we can write it as minus F21 delta T plus F21 delta T. So, this both will cancel and we will get it as 0. That means delta of P1 plus P2 is equal to 0. That means the change in total momentum is equal to 0, which shows that total momentum P1 plus P2 is equal to constant. So this is what we wanted to prove, that the total momentum in case of a collision will always remain constant. So just review it once again. See, for particular mass m1, what will be the change in momentum? It will be force on 1 due to 2 into delta t. Similarly, for m2, it will be delta p2 is equal to force on 2 due to 1 delta t. Now, according to Newton's third law, force on 1 due to 2 is equal to minus force on 2 due to 1. So, using this and these two equations, we find that the delta of P1 plus P2 is equal to 0. That means the change in total momentum is 0. That means the total momentum is not changing. Therefore, the linear momentum remains conserved. However, the kinetic energy is not always conserved. Now, depending on whether the kinetic energy is conserved or not conserved, we have different types of collision. There are certain types of collision where kinetic energy is conserved. On the other hand, there are certain kind of collisions where kinetic energy is not conserved. Now in the next slide, we'll go forward and discuss the different types of collisions. Collisions are broadly classified into three types: elastic collision, inelastic collision, and completely inelastic collision. So these are the three types of collision: elastic, inelastic, and completely inelastic. Let's discuss each of them. So let's start with elastic collision. Elastic collision is the one in which the kinetic energy, that is the total kinetic energy, is conserved. That means the total kinetic energy before collision is equal to the total kinetic energy after collision. For example, let us suppose we have two balls. Say such that the first ball will move, but the second ball is at rest. So what do we see? First ball moves, strikes the second ball. After the collision, the first ball comes to rest, but the second ball starts moving. So what happens? So what happened in this case? Before collision, let us say this is before collision and this is after collision. So in this case, what happened? Before collision, the kinetic energy was half mv square for the first ball and 0 for the second ball, because the second ball was at rest. After collision, what happened? The first ball came to rest and the second ball started moving with the same velocity. That means the total kinetic energy before collision and the total kinetic energy after collision is the same. So the kinetic energy is conserved. So this is called elastic collision. That is, the kinetic energy of the system is conserved. Now let us look at completely inelastic collision. In completely inelastic collision, what happens is the initial kinetic energy of the body is completely lost. That kinetic energy will completely be lost, and it will get transformed into some other type of energy. Let us suppose we again have two balls. So the first ball moves. As soon as the collision happens, the first ball and the second ball get attached together. Initially, the second ball was at rest. The first ball was moving. It moved. It approached the second ball. They collided, and after colliding, both the bodies started moving together. Right. So in this case, what happened? The initial kinetic energy was, for the first ball, it was half mv square, and for the second ball, it was 0. After collision, what happened? They both started moving with a kinetic energy half m1 plus m2 into some velocity v dash square. So this energy is completely lost, and it got converted into some other form of energy. I mean, the energy is completely different. Initial kinetic energy is completely lost because the mass altogether gets changed. Right, so this is completely inelastic collision. So whenever I say completely inelastic, that means that after collision, both the bodies start moving together. Completely inelastic collision refers to the scenario where after collision, the two bodies start moving together. Now let us look at the third type of collision, that is inelastic collision. In this, some part of the initial kinetic energy is lost. So some part of the initial kinetic energy is lost. In this case, what is happening? Again, we have two balls. Second ball is at rest, first ball moved. After collision, both moved separately with different velocities. Right. So in this case, some part of the initial kinetic energy was present and some was lost in the form of some other energy. Maybe the remaining part of the energy was lost as heat, light or something. Right. So in this case, initially, the kinetic energy of, so in this case what happened? Initially for the first ball it was mv square, for the second it was 0. After what happened? The first ball also moved with some velocity, say v1 square. The second ball also moved with some velocity, say v2 square. So I hope you are now clear with the three types of collision: elastic, inelastic and completely inelastic. In elastic collision, kinetic energy is conserved. In completely inelastic, kinetic energy is completely lost and both the bodies start moving together. In inelastic, some part of the initial kinetic energy is lost. Thank you. Visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thanks once again.